Hey guys, so today I'm going to be testing out the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear More Than Concealer. That's what they wrote on the bottle, that's the title. I have wanted to try this for the longest time, but when it first came out, I looked at the shade range and I did not see any shades that I thought would suit me. And then, a few months went by and I just looked at the shade range again recently and I was like, well, there's one shade that might work, but not really sure. So I took a leap of faith and I went out and got this yesterday, and I purchased this for $10.97 at Walmart, 3 cents short of $11 plus tax. That's a lot for a drugstore concealer, so this had better work. um, yeah, so here it is, and they had two of these on the shelf, and they had both been opened. That is so gross. Why do people have to do that? So there is the tiniest little piece of plastic here. So anybody can just, undo it easily. I really wish that L'Oreal would spend a little bit more on sealing their products. I know that's not going to completely deter some people, but it would help. I think there would be less product that was opened if they did that, or put testers out. One of the two. Anyway, there is 0.33 fluid ounces in here, or 10 milliliters. And yeah, so that is the shade. And all the shades are really yellow, really warm. So I don't know. We shall see. Lately, I have been blending my concealer in with a makeup sponge. I used to always use a brush, but I kind of go back and forth and play around varying the tools that I use. So I have on, so far for product, I have on a lip treatment and a face primer and a foundation, and that's it. So I'm gonna apply this and we shall see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off the excess product back into the tube. There's a large doe foot applicator. My initial impressions is this reminds me packaging wise of the Tarte Shape Tape. Everybody's getting into these large doe foot applicators now. So let's put some on. Yeah, I love this makeup sponge that I've been using. And don't worry about that it got on my eye there. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this all over and use it as my eyeshadow base today. Sometimes I like to use concealer as an eyeshadow base. Wow, that gives really good coverage, doesn't it? Now that's my better of the two eyes. This circle over here is worse, so we'll see how it looks over there. Yeah, I like using concealer as an eyeshadow primer sometimes, because it works well. Well, it depends on the concealer, I guess. Wow, that is really, really impressive. Okay, so far so good. And what I'm going to do is, after I apply the concealer, well, let me finish and then I'll tell you. I have a hard time multitasking and talking about what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So let's focus on one thing at a time. I had gone on to see if they sold these makeup sponges individually because I bought this as part of a kit. And unfortunately, they do not. I went to the company's website. It's beauty glazed. And you can't buy these sponges on their website, because I bought this as part of a kit on Amazon, and I love this sponge. So it may not even really be a beauty glazed sponge. I don't even know if it came in any kind of a wrapping with a name on it or anything. It was just part of the kit. So I won't be able to repurchase this when it's done. But I love everything about this sponge. So far it's holding up really well. Wow, look at that. I mean, you guys, you know how bad my circles are. You saw when I started. I mean, you can still see that indentation in my face, but wow, that's a lot better. Now, the question is, do I set it with powder? Because sometimes I like to put like a very light dusting of powder on my concealer, but for the most part, I think it looks better without it, but it does give you some extra coverage, so it's hard to say really whether I should or not. Lately, I have not been setting my concealer because I think it looks better without the powder. So I think that's what I should do. Yeah, let's stick to my normal routine. Okay, so let me finish my makeup and come back and talk to you just for a minute about what I was going to say before. Okay, so I finished my makeup, took down my hair, and it's been half an hour probably. And something that you should know and take into consideration when testing this concealer is that I have normal to dry skin. Well, no, I guess it's dry now. It changes sometimes, so lately it's been dry. Sometimes it's normal to dry. I think it has to do with the weather and the time of year and that sort of thing. But lately it's been dry, so it's not going to move or change that much during the course of time, whereas with a person with normal skin or somebody with normal to oily skin would like do a time check, come back, look at it, see if it moved. It's not going to move on me. My skin is dry. But I did want to wait this half hour. Well, it took me that long just to finish my makeup. But I did want to wait and see what would happen after that half hour because I wanted to see if it was going to oxidize, which it did not. It's still the same color as before. And by the way, Fawn ended up being the perfect shade because you can't even see a differentiation there. Now I did set my foundation with powder, but I avoided that eye area. What I do with powder is I just put it on places that my face tends to get a little bit red. So I just put some like here, 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 and that's it. I don't put it like all over, just any areas of redness that I see. So I didn't get any of the powder near the concealer, and you can't even see a difference between the foundation and the concealer. So Fawn ended up being the perfect shade. But as far as the concealer itself goes, it did not oxidize. And yes, you can see like the indentation in my face on that side. But this side that normally has somewhat of the indentation looks pretty darn good. I mean, you guys know my face, my skin, my age, the whole bit. And concealers normally cannot touch the, issues that I have going on here. So I think as concealers go, this one is pretty darn impressive. So thank goodness, because $10.97 is not cheap for a concealer. Will I use this on the daily? I think I probably will. The one that I've been using lately is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and that has like skincare ingredients in it. So, have you ever mixed concealers? You know, what I'm thinking is I wonder if I used like a light layer of the Maybelline one and then put a little bit of this on top for the coverage. Because the Maybelline one, I like the way it feels, and it does look pretty good, but it doesn't give you a lot of coverage even if you build it. So I wonder what would happen if I if I did a light layer of the Maybelline and then a light layer of the L'Oreal on top. I wonder if that would be too much. I don't think so, because this doesn't seem to get cakey. But then again, I did wipe the excess off back into the tube so that when I put it on, you know, it wouldn't be too much. And I did use a makeup sponge, and that's going to thin it out considerably as well. I think that this concealer will work best with a sponge, not a brush, because I can see how this could end up being too much because of the consistency of it and whatnot. So I would say, you know, just testing it this one time, I would give it a big thumbs up. I'm really impressed with every aspect about it. It seems to work really well for me. But of course, you don't really know for sure until you've used it a lot over time. But when I test out products, I've noticed that 90% of the time, my initial impression of something is correct. It's a very rare thing for me to continue to use a product and then change my mind about it. I mean, it does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. So I would say that this was a good product. I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad I tested it out. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Come back and see me again next time. Bye-bye.